Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahawashi, Hashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, Shai, and including the elder bishops on down as well. And it's your brother Laban and Yahawashi, Shai, Brakathum to the 144,000 of those that sincerely give the gospel of the kingdom as they should, and to those that follow the same, whom is the 1/3, and it's your brother Laban. I didn't need to say it again, but it came out that way. And so, what I want to do is I want to get into this lesson in regards to something that Esau wishes to do, and this is only gonna but go as far as that right there. Is that it's just gonna be wishful thinking, because for one, it's inhumanely impossible for them to branch off to the various plans. They tried it in '68, they tried it in '69, and it didn't work. Okay, and in that year they lied and said that they made it on the moon, and all evidence point to the mere fact that they didn't, you know. And yet, and still in the current years, or let me just say it differently, in the recent years, they haven't found any kind of technology or any kind of element which can overpass the Van Allen belt, which Esau has found out that it's about 35,000 degrees hot. And there's no element that they found on the earth that can, again, withstand that kind of heat. Right? And, the idea of venturing off to different planets came about through Yahawashi. Okay? And he told his disciples this in John 14 and verse 3. But I'll first read John 14 and verse 1. Let not your hearts be troubled. Ye believe in the Most High, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. So in order for us to enter into that place, to get access to those many mansions, so to speak, we would have to be changed to a celestial way of being, which the Apostle Paul spoke about that in the book of 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. All right. And when we think of the Father's house, of course, we think about outer space, which is what Esau calls it. And in that out of space, you have the various different planets, which a few Esau has found out. And there's many more that Esau hasn't got access to yet, and yet Esau hasn't been able to travel to now one of these other planets, as he's declared it as a lie that he has done so, but he hasn't, right? And they're still wishing that they can do this, okay? And Elon Musk, for so many years, he's been speaking of this, if I'm correct, since 2000 and maybe 9 or so. And in those years, SpaceX has not been able to accomplish that mission, because once again, it's inhumanely impossible, man. And the Heavenly Father is not dealing with them. That's the number one thing. Because in order for you to do something like that, all right, you would have to have infinite power behind you to do this. Okay, you can't do this with human power. Okay, human power, or let me just say it this way, fleshly power can only but go so far. Right? And that's as far as it goes. So let's even read the book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 27. And Yahawashi looking upon them saith, with men it is impossible, but not with the Most High. For with the Most High all things are possible. And this came about because of this boy, or the rich man, which was a young man. He couldn't release his wealth to follow Yahawashi, which was told of him to do, right? And then the saying came that it's easy for the camel to enter into the eye of a needle, for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High. And that's, of course, to do with two reasons. The rich man himself has invested a lot of energy and time to be healthy, to be wealthy. So why would he then put all of that aside of a drop of a dime. He wouldn't do that. All right? He wouldn't do that. So that's where this saying came from. So the reason why I read this, as well as you know, is just to convey the point that all things are possible with the Most High. So it's going to be possible for the Israelites, as he spoke to his disciples. He didn't speak to a branch of Edomites and a branch of Elamites and told them this. He told the disciples just that this will be what you will be able to do. Okay, in my Father's house, John 14:2, are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. So that's what we're going to receive. We're going to be able to get access to what Esau calls exoplanets. So when we're changed, we're not going to just speak about it. We're going to actually do it. And we're going to show evidence of us doing it. You see? So, we're going to be on a whole nother level. Like, if you really think that what we're doing right now and, the technology of what men has come up with is high tech. Nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. When the Most High changes us up, we're going to be souped up beings. And we're going to be able to come up with some wild, out of this world inventions. It's going to be crazy. Okay? Which will be the case because we're going to be gods. And that's what the elect and as well as the nation of Israel are going to be able to become. And this is something that the elect of Israel will get the chance to experience first. We're going to become gods. So when you're a god, when you think about being a god, you think about being in infinite power. All right? And that's something that we're going to get. So we're going to be able to defy the laws of physics. And just doing everything that Esau can only but speak about. And that's why these nations, man, they're going to be jealous of us because they're going to see us doing unspeakable things that their minds cannot comprehend. All right. So, yeah. So the Heavenly Father is dealing with us, man. So if he's dealing with us, all things will be possible. And in this case, as this is written, this will come into fruition, as well as it reads in the book of Isaiah 55 and verse 11. All right. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void. So this will be done. This will be seen. This will be experienced of the saints of the Most High, who are the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And once again, Esau can only but wish and dream about moving forward. So in this video over here, I'm going to play 5 minutes of it so you brothers and you sisters can see that even NASA is telling on itself, declaring that they couldn't make it to the different planet, or Salakia, they couldn't pass the Van Allen belt. And this was what recorded probably around this year or maybe last year. So, all right, the last year before that. And this was what, only 5 years ago. So if they couldn't do it 5 years ago, then how in the world could they have done it in 68 with Apollo 8 and Apollo 11 and in 69 Apollo 13? So let's play this.
Orion is getting ready to launch. My name is Kelly Smith, and I work on navigation and guidance for Orion. Orion is NASA's next-generation spacecraft. Built with versatility in mind, it can take astronauts deeper into space than we've ever gone before, to an asteroid or even onto Mars. For these missions, Orion has to be one tough spacecraft, withstanding high speeds, searing temperatures, and extreme radiation. Before we can send astronauts into space on Orion, we have to test all of its systems. And there's only one way to know if we got it right. Fly it in space. For Orion's first flight, no astronauts will be aboard. The spacecraft is loaded with sensors to record and measure all aspects of the flight in every detail. It all begins with launch aboard a Delta IV Heavy rocket. As it punches into Earth orbit, Orion will jettison its launch abort system. The abort system is a safety feature designed to pull Orion and its crew out of danger if there were a problem with the rocket during ascent. Orion's journey is just beginning. As the spacecraft and the upper stage begin their first lap around Earth, Mission Control in Houston is monitoring the progress of the flight. Orion's over 100 miles up and going about 17,000 miles per hour. Just as it passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication. This is expected. The communications link we have through satellites to Orion is momentarily lost, but Orion continues to receive and process data. Its computers can handle 480 million instructions per second. Imagine you are traveling with Orion as the flight test continues. One orbit completed. Time to go. The upper stage of the rocket fires again. Like the setup for a roller coaster ride, this is the big climb we've been waiting for. We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth. 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. For this flight, it's time to head home. The upper stage of the rocket triggers separation. Orion's jets fire to turn it into the proper position to re-enter Earth's atmosphere. No matter what happens now, we're coming in. 75 miles above Earth, the spacecraft enters the atmosphere. Things happen quickly. We're now traveling more than 20,000 miles per hour. Air particles pushed out of the way heat up. An envelope of hot plasma surrounds the vehicle as it plummets towards Earth. The plasma reaches temperatures of 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, almost twice as hot as molten lava. This may be the most dangerous part of the flight. Mission Control is monitoring all the data from the spacecraft, and then we lose communication again. No data can penetrate the plasma. Orion is on its own. Orion is inside a fireball. Onboard systems ignite.
There it is. He just said it, that the Orion couldn't pass the Van Allen belt. So once again, I have to mention, if this was released in 2019, then how could they have done it in 68 and 69? Right? And this was only put out 5 years ago. And this just goes to very well tell that even on today's time, they don't have the technology, neither do they have the material that can deal with this kind of heat. As Esau has found out, temperatures of 35,000 Celsius. Okay, so in order for you to go through that Van Allen belt, you would have to have your ship made out of material that can overcome that kind of heat. As they have over here, boiling point of carbon fiber, 4,200 Celsius. A boiling point of aluminum, 2,470 Celsius. And then what I did was I typed in what was the material that the Apollo 13 used And they have over here, which is Captain Foyer, which chars at 800 Celsius degrees. So again, they lied. Even your boy, what's his name, Buzz Aldrin, let it be known that they didn't make it to the moon. When the little girl asked him and interviewed him, how come we haven't been back to the moon? Because we've never been. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say with that. So now I want to read the book of Psalms, the 9th chapter, and verse 20. Put them in fear, O Yahweh, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Absolutely. Esau has been in power for 500 years, and they've developed the technology that they do have, and so they're feeling themselves. They think that because they've spent so much money on this technology that they do have, they can buy their way to infinity and beyond. But there's no such thing. They're just mere mortals. And when Yahawashi makes the second return by the Father's command, the Lord's undying power is going to let that be known that these nations, primarily these devils, are just men, okay, and nothing else. Okay, and as well as when we're changed, the nations are going to see that they're just men, including. All right? Just like I said earlier, when the kingdom is set up, they're going to see us do unspeakable things that they can't even comprehend. And this is how it's going to be done. Jeremiah 49 and verse 16. As this reads, thine terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. When he said that the eagle is landed, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh. Also Edom shall be a desolation, and every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh. And no man shall abide there, and neither shall the Son of Man dwell in it. So the same way Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, because what destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah? It was those brimstones that destroyed all of those neighboring cities, and one of them being the city of Zoar, and that's the only city that I can remember naming right now. All right, so from state to state, as well as America to be, will no longer be in existence. All right, so that's how the Lord is going to let it be known that they're just mere mortals. The nuclear destruction is going to do severe damage, and as well as the destruction that the Lord is coming with as well, with those lasers. So that's all I have to read over here. And what I also want to read too is Amos 9. Because what they would like to do as well, when you think about it, Esau would like to escape the planet Earth simply due to the fact that they know that their judgment is coming upon them, as what I've just read to you in the book of Jeremiah 49. So let's read this. Verse 1, I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. And he that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. See? Because that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and find retreat stations that they can stay in space in until the destruction is overpassed. And then they're going to try and find areas beneath the earth that they can also survive in as well. But guess what? They're going right into slavery where they belong. Okay? And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So they're not going to get away from anything. which is said in scripture, which will come after them. So there you go. This is the reality. So these devils, as we're always going to say, where it regards what Esau is doing right now, they're doing too much. And I understand, I get it, because if I were them, and if I were in in their shoes, I would be doing too much too. You can't blame these devils, man. Especially the super rich, they know exactly what's going on than the average person. So that's why they're just finding out various ways to possibly overcome something that is natural that they can't overcome, because they know that the Lord's judgment is coming upon them. But see, when the Lord's judgment comes upon you, you can't escape from that. It's inevitable. So that's all I have to say. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bashem, Waharakah, Kwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone, and as well as even including the elder bishops on down that have taught us this truth. And overall, to the elect, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Brakatham, to y'all of the 144,000, and including to y'all that do follow this gospel of the kingdom, whom is the 1/3. Shalom.